You live here in Ohio, you know what I'm talking about. Whether Trump means it or not is kind of irrelevant because he's saying the things to people who are hurting. And it's why every beaten down, nameless, forgotten working stiff who used to be part of what was called the middle class loves Trump. He is the human Molotov cocktail that they've been waiting for. The human hand grenade that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them. And on November 8th, Election Day, although they lost their jobs, although they've been foreclosed on by the bank, next came the divorce, and now the wife and kids are gone, the car's been repoed, they haven't had a real vacation in years, they're stuck with the shitty Obamacare bronze plan where you can't even get a fucking Percocet. They've essentially lost everything they had, except one thing. The one thing that doesn't cost them a cent and is guaranteed to them by the American Constitution, the right to vote. They might be penniless, they might be homeless, they might be fucked over and fucked up. It doesn't matter because it's equalized on that day. A millionaire has the same number of votes as the person without a job. One. And there's more of the former middle class than there are in the millionaire class.
And that's what it is. That's why when you get a guy like Trump who loves the country, who doesn't need the job, he don't need this job, he's a billionaire. How many billions do you have? I have none. I don't have any billions. If you get all my assets, I've been working hard my whole life, I have 0 billions. Trump can't be bought.
In the scenes, how about this? As it turns out, the country of Qatar gave Bill Clinton a $1 million birthday present when his wife was Secretary of State.
All the emails that give evidence of access for money and how Hillary Clinton herself benefited from this and how she is benefiting politically are quite extraordinary. I'm thinking of where the Qatari representative was given 5 minutes with Bill Clinton for $1 million check, and many other examples. Can you
12 million for Morocco.
12 million for Morocco.
For Hillary Clinton to attend.
In terms of the foreign policy of the United States, that's where, for me anyway, where the emails are most revealing, where they show the direct connection between Hillary Clinton and the foundation of jihadism, of ISIL in the Middle East. Can you talk something about that? How the emails demonstrate this connection between those who are meant to be fighting the jihadists, ISIL, are actually those who have helped create it.
There's an early 2014 email from Hillary Clinton, so not so long after she left Secretary of State, to her campaign manager, John Podesta. That email, it states that ISIS, is funded by Saudi Arabia and Qatar, the governments of Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Now, this is I think this is the most significant email in the whole collection. And perhaps because Saudi and Qatari money is spread all over the place, including into many media institutions. All serious analysts know, even the US government has mentioned or agreed with that some Saudi figures have been supporting ISIS, funding ISIS. But the dodge has always been that's it's just some rogue princes using their cut of the oil money to do whatever they like, but actually the government disapproves. But that email says that no, it is the governments of Saudi and the government and Qatar that have been funding ISIS.
The Saudis, the Qataris, the Moroccans, the Bahrainis, particularly the Saudis and the Qataris, are giving all this money to the Clinton Foundation, while Hillary Clinton is Secretary of State and the State Department is approving massive arms sales, particularly to Saudi Arabia.
Under Hillary Clinton, and our Clinton emails reveal significant discussion about it, the largest ever arms deal in the world was made with Saudi Arabia.
Well, I'm very pleased to welcome His Royal Highness here to the State Department.
So where are all the Syrian Christians? One of the reasons we're given that so few Christians can be counted among the incoming refugees is that asylum seekers are referred for immigration by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, who only registers asylum seekers currently in the refugee camps. These are the very places Christians avoid like the plague because they're as unsafe, if not worse, than the country they're fleeing. Syrian Christians know their men will be attacked and that their mothers, daughters, and sisters face rape and harassment at the refugee camps. So they seek safe harbor in places below the radar.
Because he wants to stop the unvetted people from Syria and other Middle Eastern countries from coming here. That's just common sense. I don't want them here. I don't want to take a chance that you might be a terrorist. Why should I?
I get scared. I don't know who, even if they put like they did in the Boston Marathon, but the pressure cooker there, that's a scary thing. Did you ever have to worry about that? No. But your generation, I see that you know, like it's part of your thing. We never grew up that way.
Would you let a total stranger in your house at night? No, no, I can't take a chance. I want to be safe.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're raping.
The problem I have, it's a safety issue. If we're having such an influx of immigration from Mexico and crossing our borders is so easy, then we don't really know who is coming across that border.
Of course you want to bring immigrants into the country that could come in and do us good. In other words, when the Irish came in or the Italians came in or the Chinese came in, they came in not looking for welfare, they came in looking for a job. So yeah, you got to start off at the bottom. So when the Italians came in, they were the gardeners and the construction workers and worked in the restaurants. And now, generations later, they own the restaurant or they own the landscaping place or whatever. And the same thing for the Mexicans. They're extremely hardworking people. They deserve it. You can't come here illegally and do it, but if you come here legally, it's all well and good.
I do agree with the wall. I really do agree with the wall. I do believe that specifically right here, a wall would really help keep us safe and keep the drug violence out on that side.
There are Mexicans that support Trump, and I'm shocked. Once Mexicans get here and they get legal, they differentiate themselves from the illegal Mexicans. They said they have to stop what's happening. Yes, there's a lot of Mexicans that don't even work, and they come over the border, and we have to pay for their health care. We have to pay taxes to support them. Yeah, pretty shocking. So I don't talk politics with some of my friends either.
My mom is from Pericos, Sinaloa, in Mexico, and she came over illegally back in the 80s. My mom had come here, married my dad, became a U.S. citizen. Right now, if you look at it, we got more people in this country than we do jobs. And what I think we need is more jobs than people.
It doesn't matter what the frickin' legal and ethics people say. We need to win this motherfucker.
Hillary is aware of all the work that you guys do, I hope.
The campaign is fully in it.
And then they tell Hillary what's going on.
Well, I mean, Hillary knows through the chain of command.
The thing that we have to watch is making sure there's a double blind between the actual campaign and the actual DNC and what we're doing. There's a double blind there.
And how
so that they can plausibly deny that they knew anything about it.
Scott Fovel is Kramer's attack dog. Fovel and his people train the agitators to go to Trump rallies, and nothing is left to chance.
All the Trump and Pence appearances. Tomorrow, for instance, we are turning out 500 people in front of the Trump International in D.C. We have to have people prepared to go wherever these events are, which means we have to have a central kind of agitator training.
Nobody's really supposed to know about me. So the Chicago protest, when they shut all that, that was us. It was more him than me, but none of this is supposed to come back to us because we want it coming from people. We don't want it to come from the party. So if we do a protest and it's DNC protest, it's right away the press is going to say partisan. But if I'm in there coordinating with all the groups on the ground and sort of playing field general, but they're the ones talking to the cameras, then it's actually people. But if we send out press advisories with DNC on them and Clinton campaign, it doesn't have the same effect.
We have to be really careful because what we don't need is for it to show up on CNN that the DNC paid for X people to. That's not going to happen.
So, B and I did the Chicago Trump event where we shut down the light bulbs. Yeah.
Zulema Rodriguez and Aaron Black are bragging about a protest last March that turned extremely violent and led the Trump campaign to cancel a huge rally. Fights broke out between protesters and Trump supporters, and 2 Chicago police officers were injured. Based on our reporting, the event was not spontaneous.
We have a call with the campaign every day to go over the focuses that need to be undertaken.
I just had a call with the campaign and the DNC. Every day at 1 o'clock.
Candidate! You have to agree to disagree. Nigga, that's not gonna come bring you no money.
You do realize he's losing horribly. That's what happened when you guys smoke crack, right?
She's a married free woman. That's your valid point on why he likes women. Right.
This is what
Get your ass out of here, kid. That's what I'm talking about. I told your ass. Get your ass out of here.
I told you, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you?
Shut out, ass motherfucker. Ain't nobody.
Liv, don't touch her. Don't touch her. Don't touch her. Let her be. Don't touch her. Don't touch her.
Didn't I tell you? Hey, wait.
Don't touch her. Don't touch her.
Wait. Didn't I tell you? She ain't hurt. She gonna lay there acting like she.
I told you she wasn't crazy. She knows what she's doing.
She gonna lay there like she hurt. Hey, where's Donald at? Hey, where's Donald at? Where's Trump at?
Are you guys ready for the election? My name is Caleb Van Fossen, and I'm the president of the Students for Bernie Club, which is still going strong here. There's a lot of important issues being talked about in this election cycle, and one of the biggest ones is student debt. In 2012, 71% of college students in America graduated with student loan debt, and the average amount of that debt was $26,000 per student. But unfortunately, Hillary doesn't really care about this issue either. The only thing she cares about is pleasing her donors, the billionaires who fund her election. The only people who can really trust Hillary are Goldman Sachs. Citigroup can trust Hillary. The military-industrial complex can trust Hillary. Her good friend Henry Kissinger can trust Hillary. She is so trapped in the world of the elite that she has completely lost grip of what it's like to be an average person. She doesn't care. Voting for another lesser of two evils, there's no point.
Woo!